Hello and welcome to this session on computational mathematics. In this session, we are going to discuss about systems of linear equations. So what is a linear system? A linear system is a mathematical model of a system based on the use of linear operators or linear equation. A system of the which is in the form of linear equation can be termed as a linear system. So a linear equation is nothing but a equation that gives us a straight line. Like suppose you have a equation between two variables that gives us a straight line when plotted over a graph, we can call it as a linear equation. So here the equation of this form, that is ax equals b, is in the form of linear equation. So now here a is nothing but the matrix A and x is called as the unknown vector and b is nothing but the solution vector. So here A has got this coefficient values, that is A of jk, where j is nothing but the row number and k is the column number, and is in the form of m cross n matrix. And x is having components that is starting from x1 to n, xn. So n number of components, and b has got m number of components here. So this is called as a linear system. So here we assume that the coefficients a, j, k are not all zero values. So we assume here that all the a values are not zero. If all values are zero means we will not be able to find any solution. So all values of a are not zero. And the other thing is here, like what we notice is x has got n number of component, that is matching with the number of components in the A, and B has got m number of component, that is matching with the component m of A. Okay, so this m is nothing but this is the row value, that is B should match with the row value and x should match with the column value. Okay, so like that. So this is how the values are there. So x is having n number of components and b is having m number of components of the matrix m cross n. So where we have m rows and n columns. So now here we can also write this matrix in this format, that is A augmented. So this is augmented matrix. Okay, that is A at the top, we see a tilde symbol. This is called as a augmented matrix. So we can also write a linear system in augmented matrix format. That is, we can write the coefficient of the matrix and we can also write with that the solution vector, and we can separate it with this vertical line. So this vertical line can be omitted, like going ahead we'll see, okay, usually like we can omit this vertical line. So it is merely a reminder that the last column of A did not come from the matrix A. So the last column of this augmented matrix did not come from the matrix A. So for that we are just using this straight line or dashed vertical line. So now here, like to solve this linear system of equation, we perform something called as elementary row operation. Okay, so now here linear system of equations are nothing but where you have multiple linear equations. So here within a matrix, we can say we have multiple linear equations. So here we have a11 to a1n, which is giving us a output as b1. So this is first equation. Similarly, I have a12 till a2n, and I will be having a solution vector as b2. So this will be my second equation. So like that I can have multiple system of equation. And now within each of the system of equation we have certain unknown. So here if you see x is the unknown. So A is the matrix, x is the unknown, and b is nothing but the solution vector. So now how do we solve this equation means how do we find out this unknown? So solving a linear system of equation means like finding out the unknown value. To solve a linear system of equation we can use elementary row operation. So how do we perform elementary row operation? So first thing is interchanging of two equations. So we can interchange any two equations. So I can interchange the first equation with the second one, or the last equation with the first one. I can interchange the position. If I interchange the equation, it is not going to change the solution set. Okay, it is not going to alter the solution set. So that's why like we can interchange any two equations within a matrix. Next is addition of a constant multiple of one equation to another equation. We can also take multiple of one equation and we can add it to another equation. This is also feasible because we can also undo this addition by subtracting the following equation. Okay, so addition of a constant multiple. So I can take, suppose I will say I have a row value, that is row second. So I will say 2 into row 2 and I will add it to row 1. Okay, that is also fine. We can also do that. Next is multiplication of an equation by a non-zero constant. We can also multiply any equation with a non-zero constant. That is, I can multiply an equation saying row 2 equal to 2 into row 2 or 5 into row 2. I can take any row and I can multiply it with any non-zero constant. So here these three things can also be altered. We can also get the value back. Okay, so that is if we interchange two equation, we can change the position again. That is, if we interchange the position, we know that it's not going to alter the solution set. Neither does their addition, because we can undo it by corresponding subtraction. So we can undo the addition what we are doing by a corresponding subtraction. Similarly, multiplication also we can undo by doing a division. That is, suppose I am multiplying an equation by 3, I can divide the equation by 3. That is, I can multiply again 1 by 3. Okay, so I can undo the multiplication like this to produce the original equation. So that's where like all these steps can be undone. So like we can perform these specific operations which we call it as elementary row operation on top of any augmented matrix. So now here we have something called as row echelon form. Now row echelon form, there are two types of form, that is row echelon form and reduced row echelon form. You can say row echelon form is good, reduced row echelon form is best, okay, to find out a solution. So here how do we how do we do this row echelon form? Like how do we bring a matrix to row echelon form? So row echelon form is nothing but a form or a format, okay, in which we can bring up a matrix by performing elementary row operation. So a rectangular matrix is in echelon form or row echelon form if it has the following three properties. That is, all non-zero rows are above any rows of all zero. So that means like all non-zero rows, like if you see non-zero row values like 3 to 1 non-zero row, minus 1 3 1 by 3 non-zero rows are above the zero rows, okay, above the zero row values. Then each leading entry of a row is in a column to the right of the leading entry of the row above it. So here if you look at the leading entry, this 3 is a leading entry, minus 1 by 3 is again one more leading entry. Leading entries are nothing but the pivot elements. So here we have all this leading entry, and you can see like how the leading entries are formed. That is, each leading entry of a row is in the column to the right of the leading entry. That is, like first leading entry is 3, then the next leading entry is in the column to the right, that is on the right hand side of this 3, that is the minus 1 by 3 is the next leading entry, like that. And all entries in a column below the leading entries are 0. So any value below the leading entry should be 0. So we have a leading entry here as 3 and minus 1 by 3. So if you see like 3 has below values, like below 3 we have all 0 values, and below minus 1 by 3 also we have 0. So all entries in a column below the leading entry should be 0. Then it is called as a echelon form. This echelon form is nothing but, see, echelon is a Latin word. So it is a Latin word which means ladder. Okay, so here it forms a ladder kind of structure. So here if you see, like it is nothing but it's forming a ladder kind of structure. Okay, like if you take these 0 elements, you will see it is nothing but like creating a step or ladder kind of structure. So this is called as row echelon form. So we can perform elementary row operation on top of any given matrix by converting it to augmented matrix, and we can get the echelon form out of that. So once we bring up our data to echelon form or bring up our equations to echelon form, we might be able to find a solution for the same. Next is reduced row echelon form. So reduced row echelon form is if a matrix in echelon form satisfies the following conditions, then it is in reduced row echelon form. So it has to satisfy these two conditions. The first one is the leading entry in each non-zero row is 1. So that means all the leading entries should be 1. That means the pivot element should be 1. And each leading 1 is the only non-zero entry in its column. So like we have a matrix A, so you can see here all the leading entry should be 1 and the other values apart from leading entry should be 0. Okay, then only it is called as a reduced row echelon form. So we have got two forms, one is row echelon form and the other one is reduced row echelon form. So here REF and RREF, you can also call it as REF, reduced echelon, row echelon form is also called as REF, and reduced row echelon form can be called as RREF. So the original system of m equations in n unknowns. So the equation what we had, that is m number of equation and n number of unknowns, has an augmented matrix, that is A bar B. So this is how we write augmented matrix. So this is to be row reduced to matrix R by F. So we can reduce it to saying R by F. So the two systems Ax equal to B and Rx equal to F are equivalent. So they are both same. If either one has a solution, so does the other, and the solutions are also identical. So after converting a matrix to the echelon form, that is a reduced echelon form or echelon form, like we have a matrix, augmented matrix A bar B, we can convert it to R by F. So we can perform this transformation and we can bring it to R by F. So here R by F and A by B are two equations which are equivalent. They are both same and the solutions of both of these equations are identical. So next is rank of a matrix. So how do we know what is the rank of a matrix? So the number of non-zero rows, that is R, in the row reduced coefficient matrix R is called the rank of R and also the rank of A. So number of non-zero rows, after we do this row like elementary row operation, the number of non-zero rows which are there is called as the rank of that matrix. Okay, so the number of non-zero rows are in the row reduced coefficient matrix is called the rank of R. So now next I will be discussing about Gauss elimination and back substitution. So we perform Gauss elimination in which these steps are nothing but we try to find out like we perform those elementary row operations to figure out the solution for a matrix. So here the matrix should be in triangular format. That means triangular means that all the non-zero entries of the corresponding coefficient matrix lie above the diagonal and form an upside down 90-degree triangle. Then we can solve the system by back substitution. So if it is forming a triangle kind of thing, we can do back substitution. We can find out the unknown values. Since a linear system is completely determined by its augmented matrix, Gauss elimination can be done by merely considering the matrices. So here like linear system of equation is always determined by putting it in an augmented matrix format, and we can do Gauss elimination on top of that to figure out the solutions. So how do we do this Gauss elimination? So here we will be doing that same like a reduced row echelon form, which is nothing but we will perform elementary row operation and we will try to bring up our matrix to the form of like all the leading entry to 1. Then we can solve the equation. So here suppose we have this three set of linear equation, that is x plus y plus z equal to 3, 2x plus 3y plus 7z equal to 0, x plus 3y minus 2z equal to 17. So here these are the three set of equations, and within this we have three unknowns, that is x, y and z, and suppose we have to find out x, y and z. So first we will take out the matrix, we will create the matrix out of this, that is like first one is 1 1 1. Okay, so matrix values will be 1 1 1, that is x value is 1, y value is 1, z value is also 1. Second one is 2x plus 3y plus 7z, that is 2, 3 and 7, that is 2 into x and 3 into y and 7 into z. So like that we have to take out the matrix, and the solution vector is 3 0 and 17. This is the solution vector. So first we are creating an augmented matrix of the same given matrix. Then we will perform elementary row operation. So row operations can be used to express the matrix in reduced row echelon form. So here we have all these values, 1 1 1 which is giving us 3, then 2 3 7 is 0, then 1 3 minus 2 is 17. Now after doing the operation, row operation, okay, so that is elementary row operation, we are getting this new augmented matrix. That is, first one is same. Second one, what we have to do is see always like how to perform this elementary row operation. Okay, so I'll just show how to perform this elementary row operation. We'll see by taking that same example. That is, in that example we had values like x plus y plus z equals 3, that is x plus y plus z equals 3, then 2x plus 3y plus 7z equals 0, and we had the third equation, that is x plus 3y minus 2z equals 17. So like that we had values. So now when we get the augmented form of this, it will be nothing but first one is 1 1 1, and here I will write the augmented value, that is like it was 3, and the second one is 2 3 and 7, and the augmented value is 0, and the third one is 1 3 and minus 2, so minus 2z is there, so minus 2, and it is 17. So this is what we had. So now how do we perform elementary operations on top of this? I'll just show one step. Okay, so similar way like all the other can be performed. So now here, like we have this matrix, augmented matrix. So this is our augmented matrix. So I will do elementary operation on top of this. So first thing is you have to see which are the leading entries. So we have these leading entries. So whatever leading entries are there, all the values below the leading entry should be 0. So first try to solve that. So all the values below the leading entry should be 0. So this 2 value should be 0, and this 1 value also should be 0. So first we will try to do that. So to do that, what we can do here, like I can take row 2 implies row 2 minus 2 into row 1. Row 2 minus 2 into row 1 I can do for row 2. Similarly here I can take row 1. Okay, first I will try to convert this to 0. Similarly next row 3 also we have to convert this 1 to 0, this 1 value to 0. Now to do that I can say row 3 equal to nothing but row 3 value minus row 1 value. So we can take row 3 value minus row 1 value, that is also fine. So like this we can either subtract, or subtraction is nothing but it's like adding an inverse value. So here like I'll just try this out, that is like we have this matrix. So the new matrix what we will get after this transformation, after doing elementary row operation, is first one will be 1 1 1 3. So this will be as it is. Next here next 2 will be 0. So R2 implies R2 minus 2 into R1, that is 2 minus R2 value is 2 minus 2 into R1, that is 2 into 1, that is nothing but 0. So 2 minus 2, we are getting 0 here. Next is 3, R2 is 3, 3 minus 2 into R1, R1 is also 1, so 3 minus 3, this is also becoming okay, 3 into 2R1. Okay, sorry, it is 3 into 2R1. 3 into 2R1 is nothing but 3 minus 2. So it will be 1. Next value will be 7 minus R2 is 7. So 7 minus 2 into R1. R1 is 1. 2 into 1. So R1 is 1. So 7 minus 2. So 7 minus 2 is nothing but 5. So we are getting here 5. Similarly, the last one will be 0 minus 2 into R1. 0 minus 3 into 2. 2 into R1 is nothing but 2 into 3, that is 6. So we are getting here 6. Okay, minus 6 we will get. So minus 2 into R1, so minus 6 we will get. So the value which we are getting here is minus of 6. Then the last one what we are doing, R3 minus R1. That is we are just subtracting R3 with R1. So that is like 1 minus 1 is 0. Then the next one is 3 minus 1 is 2. Then the next one is 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is nothing but here we are getting 2 minus of minus 1. Okay, so minus 2. Okay, sorry, minus 2. This value is minus 2 of minus 1, that is minus 3. And the other one is 17 minus 3, which is nothing but 14. This is how we are getting. So now the leading entry is 1 and all the value below the leading entry is 0. So we have done first stage. So like that, now the next one is we have to bring this 2 to 0. Okay, so the next leading entry is this 1. So the below entry to that leading entry should be 0. So next, similarly, you have to try bringing up this 2 to 0. So same way you can do. Same way you can do the operations. Okay, that is the elementary row operation. So you can see here what value we got is from this calculation, the values what we got was 1113015 minus 6 02 minus 3 14. So like that we got. So here also if you look at the same, we are also getting the same here, that is 1113015 minus 6 02 minus 3 14. Okay, so same values we are getting. So similarly you have to keep on doing these steps till you get all the leading entries as 1 and all the other values apart from the leading entry should be 0 within the matrix. So you can see the last one we are getting 100 equals 1, 0104 and 001 minus 2. So from this we can say x is nothing but 1, y equals 4 and z equals minus 2. Okay, so this is how we can solve any linear system of equation by performing Gauss elimination. So this Gauss elimination process is nothing but it uses reduced row echelon form. So after performing reduced row echelon form on top of the data, we are able to solve this. So this is our Gauss elimination. So now here what we will do, we will see all these concepts, whatever we have seen till now, we will see the implementation in Python. Now how do we solve a linear system of equation using Python? So we will use Python Jupyter Notebook and we'll try to find this out. So first we will see this one, that is yeah, so Gauss elimination. We will see how to do that for this particular equation. So we'll see if you are getting the same values or not. So within Python, I'll open up a new Jupyter notebook. We'll name it as earlier the names what we had given was linear algebra. Okay, so we'll name it as linear algebra here. System of linear equations. So first thing what we need to do is import first thing what we need to do is import numpy as np. Just a second. Yeah, so import numpy as np. So first we are using here numpy so that we can create arrays, that is nothing but a matrix format. So first we are using numpy here. Then after that what we will do is I'll write the equation. So here we'll solve the equation. So I'll just write it in comment saying solving linear system of equations. So within this we have suppose three system of equations, that is x plus y plus z equals 3. I think x plus y plus z equals 3, it was there. Yeah, so it is x plus y plus z equals 3, 2x plus 3y plus 7z equals 0, x plus 3y minus 2z equals 17. So we'll take the same equation. Okay, you can use here a break so that it will come to the next line. BR is the tag to be used to come to the next line. So here I have this equation, that is my first equation. The next equation is nothing but 2x plus 3y plus 7z equals 0. And the last one is x plus y plus, sorry, x plus 3y. It was x plus 3y minus 2z equals 17. So these are the three equations. X plus y plus z equals 3, 2x plus 3y plus 7z equals 0, x plus 3y minus 2z equals 17. We'll just cross check this. Yeah, so we have the same equations here. Now how do we solve these equations? So first I will take the matrix. So I will create the matrix here saying np dot array. Okay, you can use np dot array and then pass the data. So here first one is 1 1 1, that is 1 comma 1 comma 1, and the second vector is, second row value is 2 comma 3 comma 7, and the third row value is 1 comma 3 comma minus 2. So we have got the matrix values. So this is my matrix. I'll just check this out. Okay, 1 1 1 2 3 7 and 1 3 minus 2. This is our matrix. Now the next one is we will get the vectors. Okay, we'll get the solution vector, that is B. So we know the formula Ax equals B. So solution vector is nothing but here B. So I will take this B as np dot array and I will take it as 3 0 17. Okay, 3 0 17 are the values within this B, 3 0 and 17. So we have also got B now. So we got A and we got B, and we have to find the unknowns, that is x, y and z. So now to solve this equation, we can solve it. It's very easy actually to solve it here in NumPy. We can solve this by using a function that is solving a so I'll just write down saying solving a linear equation. So solving a linear system of equation, we can solve it here by using NumPy module, linear algebra module. So within NumPy we have a module Li and Alg, that is linear algebra. Here you have a function called as solve. So you can simply call this function. It also uses the same method, that is how we did, that is reduced row echelon form Gauss elimination, and pass the matrix, that is you have to pass the augmented matrix, that is A and B. Okay, this is the augmented matrix. Okay, so you pass the augmented matrix here and it will solve and find you what are the values. So it gives us values as just a second, I think here I have made a mistake, 3 0 17 it was. Okay, okay, so now it has given us values as 1 4 and minus 2. So x is 1, y is 4 and z is minus 2. So let us see with the actual equation. So with the actual equation we were getting the same output, that is x equals 1, y equals 4 and z equals minus 2. So this is how we can solve a linear system of equation by using Python. Okay, we don't have to do one by one reduce row operation and all here in Python. We can directly do this like this. Okay, directly solve this equation by using this solve function which is there in linear algebra module within NumPy. So here, like, I want to find out the rank of this matrix. What is the rank of this matrix? Actually we know rank should be 3 because we have three non-zero rows. Okay, like rows of the matrix, like we see 3 non-zero rows. If you have a complete 0 row, then it will be excluded. So here we have 3 non-zero rows. So to find out the rank of this matrix, how to find out the rank? So for that, in NumPy, okay, finding rank of a matrix. To find out a rank, you can use NumPy linear algebra dot matrix rank. So this is the function you can use here, np dot linalg dot matrix rank, and pass the matrix. It will give you the rank. So it says rank is 3. So rank of this matrix is nothing but 3. Okay, so like that we can find out the rank of a matrix. So I will take a different matrix where like one row value I will take as 0. So I will take the last row value as 0, saying 0 0 0, and this I will just name it as matrix. I will name it as a D matrix. So this D matrix has last row value as 0. So now if we check the rank, it should be 2 because we have 1 0 values in the last one. So here let us check the rank. You can see here rank is 2 now. So number of non-zero rows after performing elementary row operation, number of non-zero row will tell you the rank of the matrix. So now here we saw how to find out the rank of a matrix, and also we saw how to do this Gauss elimination, solving a linear system of equation. So here basically like rank of a matrix, to find out the rank of a matrix, it is like the rows left after doing elementary row operation, okay, non-zero rows after doing the elementary row operation. You can also say it is the dimension of the vector space generated by its column. It is the dimension of the vector space which is generated by its column. So this is our rank of a matrix, and this one, that is Gauss elimination. So next thing here, the very important thing is linear algebra is eigenvectors and eigenvalues. So this is one more a very important part in this one, linear algebra. So what are these eigenvectors and eigenvalues? So now see, in linear algebra, like it has got a lot of applications with respect to machine learning and all, and you will see eigenvectors in lot of places. So eigenvectors are those vectors that does not change direction even if transformation is applied on them. So here suppose you apply transformation on top of the data, okay, you just change the data, you just scale the data, or you perform some kind of transformation on top of the data. After that also the new vector whatever you are getting, if it doesn't change the direction, it is the eigenvector. So eigenvectors are those vectors that does not change direction even if transformation is applied on them. So a matrix of eigenvalue problem considers the vector equation. So it is written in this format, that is AV equal to lambda of V. AV equals lambda of V. So here A is a given square matrix. The lambdas are called eigenvalues of A, and the corresponding non-zero V's are called eigenvectors of A. So these non-zero V are nothing but eigenvector. So the scalar that is used to transform eigenvectors are called as eigenvalues. So we use eigenvector, we use eigenvalues to transform an eigenvector. So the scalar which is used to transform an eigenvector is nothing but eigenvalue here. So within this equation, A V equals to lambda V. Lambda are called as eigenvalues, and V are nothing but eigenvector. So eigenvectors are those vectors that does not change direction even if transformation is applied to that. Okay, so this is a very important concept which is there with respect to linear algebra, that is eigenvectors and all. So now here, like suppose we have certain vectors. Okay, suppose I'll take some example. So here suppose I have a vector that is having values like this. So here basically we have a square here, and the values which are there within this is nothing but x and y. We have suppose two vectors x and y. So now suppose you did some transformation. Transformation is nothing but suppose you scaled the vector by multiplying the vector with a scalar, or you did some computation on top of that and you transform this particular vector. Now suppose the new vector what you are getting here is nothing but a rectangle. So earlier it was square, now we are getting a rectangle here. So y vector is still same, you can see, but x vector has changed. Okay, x vector has changed. So x vector, the direction has not changed. Okay, so here x and y, if you see after applying transformation also, the direction is same. So x is also having the same direction, y is also following the same direction. So these two are nothing but the eigenvectors. Okay, so here after applying transformation also, the vector has not changed. Okay, suppose I have a vector, if the direction changes, okay, so within this so we just transformed a square to triangle like that. Suppose I have a vector in which this is my x and this is my y, and the new vector what we are getting is x and y. So here if you see, like y has changed the direction. Earlier y was following a different direction, now the next one y has changed the direction. So this is not a eigenvector, but x is still the same. X has not changed the direction. So x is still the same. So this is an eigenvector. So here basically, like after applying transformation, so transformation means nothing but like when you do any computation on top of that, and like on top of the linear equation, and you try to transform it. After that also, when the values like if you see the x values or the vector values are still the same, okay, which is following the same direction, vector values might be different but the direction is same, then those are the eigenvectors. So eigenvectors do not change direction even if transformation is applied to them. So see, when like linear algebra we use a lot in machine learning, deep learning and all. So in those concepts you can say it's nothing but like suppose you are representing a data and you are multiplying the data with some scalar values, or you are multiplying with another vector. So in that time, like that is nothing but the data is getting transformed, and when you are using this, when you are applying this transformation, okay, so what is happening, your data are getting changed. So when this is changing, the direction remains unchanged. If the direction is remaining unchanged, then that is nothing but the eigenvector. So eigenvectors are used quite a lot in like reducing dimensions in machine learning, as well as like if you look at deep learning, when you are working with images, rotating an image, okay, but keeping the image same, okay, same type of image, okay, so keeping the same type of information within the image. In those kind of cases also eigenvector, eigenvalue play a prominent role. So here eigenvectors does not change direction even if transformation is applied to them. So a matrix eigenvalue problem is of this equation, A of v equal to lambda of v, that is A is nothing but the matrix, v is the eigenvector, and lambda is the eigenvalue. This eigenvalue is the value which is used to transform the eigenvector. So now here how do we find this eigenvector and eigenvalue? So we'll see how do we do this manually. So first we start by finding the eigenvalue. So we'll first see eigenvalue. So we know that this equation must be true. So we know this equation AV equal to lambda v should be true. So now we can put in an identity matrix here. So identity matrix, we already know if we multiply any matrix with its identity matrix, it should give us the same matrix. Okay, so it is the identity of that matrix. So as we are doing matrix versus matrix computation here, I can also add identity matrix, that is I. So here you can see A of v equals to lambda of IV. Okay, so I have multiplied a identity matrix here. So here we can also write it as AV minus lambda of IV equals 0. By bringing everything to the left hand side, we are getting AV minus lambda of IV equals to 0. So here if V is non-zero, if the eigenvectors are non-zero, then we can solve for lambda using just the determinant. So we can find out the lambda like eigenvalue by finding out the determinant if V is non-zero. So that is A minus lambda I, determinant of that is equal to 0. So now to do that, I'll take one example. Suppose we have a matrix that is minus 6, 3, 4, 5. This is a matrix we have. Here, like first we have to bring up this. So we know that A minus lambda I equals 0 now. So now to calculate, so first we have to calculate the determinant. That is, we will take the A value, that is minus 6, 3, 4, 5 minus lambda of identity matrix. So identity matrix here is nothing but 1, 0, 0, 1. So it should be 0. The output should be 0. So once you compute that, it will be like once you multiply, you will get minus 6 minus lambda, 3, 4, 5 minus lambda, which is equals to 0. So now after finding the determinant, here I am trying to find the determinant, that is minus 6 minus lambda, then 5 minus lambda, then minus of 3 into 4 equals 0. Okay, after using quadratic equation, you can also solve it like this, saying lambda square plus lambda minus 42 equals to 0. So solving this equation gives us lambda as minus 7 or 6. So here we have two eigenvalues. Okay, we can have multiple eigenvalues also. That's also not a problem. So here we have two eigenvalues. So now we have found the eigenvalue. So now we'll see how to find the eigenvector. So finding the eigenvector for this eigenvalue, that is lambda equal to 6, will be, so we know that AV equal to lambda V. So we can take minus 6 of 3, 4, 5, and V is nothing but here we can take X and Y, that is the vector. We have to find the vector here, equal to 6 of XY. So by using this same thing, that is AV equal to lambda V, that's what we saw first. that is eigenvalue equation. This is the eigenvalue equation. So we are using that same equation here. So after doing multiplication on top of this equation, we are getting minus 6 of 3y equal to 6x and 4x plus 5y equal to 6y. Okay, so like that we are getting. Just a second. So now here we are getting this one, that is minus 6 plus 3y equal to 6x, 4x plus 5y equal to 6y. So bringing everything to left, we are getting minus 12x plus 3y equals 0, 4x minus 1y equals 0. So here what we are getting is y equals 4x. So after solving this, you will find out, okay, 4x minus 1y equal to 0, that is nothing but y equals 4x. So first one also, if you try minus 12x plus 3y equal to 0, that will also be y equals 4x. So the eigenvector is any non-zero multiple of this, that is x is 1 and y is 4, like this. So y equal to 4x, that is 1 and 4. So this is what we are getting right now. This is our eigenvector. This is our eigenvector. So this is how you can find out the eigenvector as well as the eigenvalue. We saw how to calculate the eigenvalue and how to compute the eigenvector. So now we will just see that same thing in this one, that is Python. So here suppose I will take up this matrix, that is minus 6, 3 and 4, 5. So I'll say here matrix E. So I'll just add a markdown in Python and we'll write it down as eigenvalue problem. So now here E is nothing but we are having values as minus 6, 3, 4, 5. So when we check the E value, it says minus 6345. This is what matrix we have. So we want to find out the eigenvalue here. Now to find out eigenvalue in NumPy, there is a function, that is linear algebra module only you can use. Within that there is a function EIG and pass the matrix. So whatever matrix is there, just pass that. And here it will give you two output. One is eigenvalue, the other one is eigenvector. So here we are getting the eigenvalues as minus 7 and 6. So this is the eigenvalue. So I'll just write a comment here. And this is the eigenvector. Now we will check the equation, that is eigenvalue equation, which says AV equal to lambda V. That is matrix multiplied with the eigenvector gives us the same value what it will give if we multiply the eigenvector with the eigenvalue. So we'll just check this out, AV equal to lambda V. So A is the matrix. So here in our case matrix is E. So if I multiply it with the eigenvector, it should give me the same value what it gives when I multiply eigenvalue with the eigenvector. So we'll just check this out. So I'll say np dot, so we'll take this np dot multiply of eigenvector here is V and the eigenvalue is W, so W comma V. So I'll just multiply this. So we are getting this result, that is 6.64 minus 1.4 minus 2.2 and minus 5.8. So here I will check the other one, that is multiplying the eigenvector with the matrix, matrix E. So here as we have a matrix, so I will say np dot matmul and we'll pass the matrix and we'll pass the eigenvectors. So here also you can see we are getting the similar output. So that means this equation is satisfied. Okay, that is EV equal to WV, or you can say A of V equal to lambda V. So this is all about finding out eigenvectors and eigenvalues. So what all we discussed in this session, like first we looked into linear systems, then we looked into solving of linear system, that is performing elementary row operations, then row echelon form and reduced row echelon form, then we discussed about rank of a matrix, Then we looked into Gaussian elimination and back substitution. And after that, we looked into eigenvectors and eigenvalues. So applications of linear algebra. Linear algebra has a lot of applications with respect to machine learning and deep learning. So in like if you see a few, like in principal component analysis algorithm, it uses eigenvector and eigenvalue problem, okay, as the backbone of this algorithm. So principal component analysis is nothing but it's an algorithm which is used for dimensionality reduction, that is for reducing the dimensions. Similarly, in computer vision also there are a lot of applications of linear algebra, that is like while walking around the image, like cropping, scaling of image, sharing of image and all. In singular value decomposition, dimension reduction, also like this linear algebra applications are there. For encoding a data set also we use linear algebra, that is like mostly for doing data pre-processing, that is encoding categorical values. Latent semantic analysis in natural language processing is one more application. Regularization is one more application, as well as in deep learning models, like for optimization of deep learning model computations. For those also linear algebra is there. In deep learning, there is something called as tensor. So tensors are basically these are vectors. Okay, these are kind of vectors which is like vectors at higher dimension. Okay, these are also some type of representation of data at higher dimension, that is values at higher dimension. So you can say it's just generalization of scalars and vectors. Okay, that is tensors. So in the deep learning, tensors also that is nothing but part of linear algebra. That is why linear algebra is used. So these are certain applications of linear algebra. This is all about this session. Thank you.